Morning, everyone. My name's Ken Bamford. I'm the newly elected Lincolnshire County Councillor for the Hoff Division. So this is going to be my first introductory post. So I'm not really one for social media, but I went to Spain over the weekend and I met some old friends and we got talking, and I explained what I was doing, why I did it, and the response gave me a really lot of confidence. So my background is, I grew up in the miners' strikes. Dad was a miner. We didn't really have anything as a community, so we all had to pull together, and it was all built around honesty, being authentic, trust, that kind of stuff. So that was embedded in me from early on. Then I joined the army, did 22 years in the military police. And that was the same sort of environment. Everybody had to work together just to get the job done. And you had to get it done usually without much money, resources were tight. So you had to be efficient. And I'm also autistic. So that efficiency is hardwired. I look at something and I can just naturally, organically see how to improve it. Doesn't matter what environment it's in. So that's hardwired in. So all that together, I thought, why not try and do something about, the state of the mess that the country's in. We used to moan about it. I'd sit with family, friends, moaning about the state of it. And over the last 20 years in particular, it's just in a massive decline. Successive governments just not. It's weird. So my understanding of politics is, you've got a group of people at the very basic level. You've got a group of people like a town, let's say a small village or a hamlet, got 100 people in that hamlet. They decide, right, within that group, we want you to represent us, because you know what we're about. We trust you to represent our interests because we can't all have a voice because it would just be chaos. So you need to represent, you need to have people to represent you. And that's how it should work. But over the last 20 years, I've just seen a decline in that basic concept of representation of what people want and in the best interests of the country. It's just declined. So what I see now in politics is it's almost like a celebrity status. So these people get, bumped up, they get this little bit of power, and all of a sudden they just lose who they are and they forget where they've come from. And I'm generalizing. There's great people behind the scenes on the back benches, I'm sure, doing great stuff. But generally what you see, particularly from the sort of the frontline ministers, and in particular, if you look at this current Labour government, wow, I've never seen it so bad. They think they're celebrities is the bottom line, and it's just chaotic. They're not representing the people. They're not listening to the people. They're not representing the interests of the country, first and foremost. And that's got to change. So that's why I stepped up. I thought, I'm going to stop moaning about it. I'm going to step forward. So I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm not a social media person, but after I spoke to these people and I got that confidence, like, right. So they said to me, and everybody said to me, you need to get out there, because social media, it's a really powerful tool. There's some challenges that come with it. I'm sure, people moaning and naysaying and having a pop and, berating you publicly. I can handle that. I've been in the army. But they said, get yourself out there, tell people who you are, get your points across, let them see who you are, and that authenticity will come through. Because that's what it's all about for it. It's getting back to that authentic people and representing what people want. So ultimately, that's why I'm doing it. So this is like a bit of an intro, just to let you know who I am. And I'm going to do my kids know how social media works. So I'm going to start doing some little videos about what's going on. And yeah, so be kind in the comments. Like I said, I'm new to this. So I'm just trying to do my best to, provide a future for my kids. I've got 2 teenage daughters, and that's part of the reason I was pushed into doing and standing for the council, because I'm trying to make a better future for them, because they have no idea. They're still in Disney mode, but they've no idea what's coming and what we're creating for them. Nobody's talking about national debt. There's so much scandal going on at the moment that that thing, national debt, in the background just keeps creeping up and up and up. Nobody's talking about it, and that is gonna be the killer. Because if it's basics. I'm not a qualified economist like Rachel Reeves, but it's just basics. At the base level, it's like having a credit card and just keep borrowing on your credit card and say, it's all right, we'll pay it off later. It gets to a point where you're just paying the interest off and you're not paying any of the capital off. And then at that point, if you don't get some debt management in place, you're going to find yourself having a problem. You're going to go bankrupt and you're going to be on a debt management program. But it seems like the government can just keep borrowing. It's all right. We'll just put taxes up instead of looking at what they've already got. There's no shortage of money in the UK. Trust me. There's no shortage of money in the UK. It's the way it's being spent is the problem. And this government and successive governments previously, I've just adopted that mindset of, it's all right, we'll just put taxes up. Yeah, it's all right. National debt, we'll just keep putting taxes up. It's all right, we'll put it back on the people. They'll wear it, they'll moan about it, but ultimately they'll wear it and it'll all go quiet. You just can't keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing indefinitely. Anybody that's ever had a loan in their life knows that. You got to pay it up. You got to pay it back. Why? How does the government get away with that? Just keep putting taxes up. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent now. This was supposed to be an intro. I'll go do another one on that, on national debt. I'll do a separate thing on that, because once you get me started, I can go for England. But I'm going to try and get them conversations now in my feed. So, because it's what people are saying, it's what people are talking about, but nobody's hearing it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want my kids, when they're my age, living in a dead society, because it's all just gone wrong, and they're having to pay back, everything that we're doing now. So that's the primary reason I'm doing it, and I'm fed up like everybody else. I'm just fed up.